In this video, we will continue looking at customizing theme settings for our chosen theme of OceanWP. All of this in the next 10 minutes, starting right now. Let's take a look down here at what general options are. This is a pretty thorough menu. General options has a lot of the settings in it that we may need to work with to change things to get it ready to build our web page. Let's start with general styling. We're going to create a custom header, so that top one isn't too important to us. But let me show you the next thing down, which is site background. Notice that the background of the site is a white color. If we wanted our site itself to have a different color, this is where we would change it. Now, even if we use different colors behind our text or our headings in Elementor, we might like that background site to be some other color. And if we do this right here. We just click on that, and then if you know a hexadecimal code number, you can put it in. Number with all of these F's is simply white. But an easier way is just choose a basic color. So if I wanted it to be a red, I could do that. Not very pretty. And I can even take this bar over here, though, and I can begin to lighten that color where it's just a really light shade, not very much saturation at all. Or I can make it even darker if I want to do that. Or I can go over here and I can start to move this around and get different shades of red, and then I can just move into other colors. So wherever I ultimately put this, that would become the background color in my site. And then again, I can decide how much saturation I want in that color right here and choose a whole different color for my background. Notice it didn't affect what is at the top here because this is part of my header and my page title, so that's not really the background body of my website. It also didn't affect what's down here at the bottom. This is my footer area, which also is controlled separately. So it's going to be the body of your website. And each page will automatically default to that same color. So once you set that up, you'll have a background color that will stay consistent in the theme throughout your website. I'm going to go put that one back to white. Now just click on the white down there so that we'll have that. Again, I'm going to control most of that with Elementor, but if I decide I want a background behind those things later, this is where I would find it. Right here under background colors or site background. Okay, and there's also a place down here where you can have a default link color. So links to other pages on your site or external links, you can decide the color of them also on this page or on this setting menu. Notice that over here on the right there is actually a link to the Hello World post. So notice that that link right now is black, but when I hover over it, it is blue, just like these say. So if I wanted to change the link color that it defaults to in my site, or the background hover color, I could change that right here to do that. I'm just going to leave it again like it is. I can control that again whenever I create my site from Elementor. So let's go back up, and that kind of completes the general styling settings. Also under general options, general settings. Again, this can be pretty important. This allows us to set up the layout that we have here. And you will notice that this layout style right now is set for wide. We want it all the way across our page. We can do something, this one in particular, you'll be able to tell. If I say separate, you see now we have this gray outside background, and then the inner background is white. That's set right here. It's separated these sections like this. Actually, something I'm going to do with Elementor, I'm going to set the background for the whole thing and then create these boxes with that. So not something I need, so I'm going to leave it set to wide right here. We can control how wide it is. We can also control what percentage each column takes. Right now you can see that our content width is 72% of the width of the page, and our sidebar is 28%, of course adding up to 100. Down here, you notice here's the layout. If I wanted this information to be on the left, I would just click that one, and now you will see that your sidebar switched to the left and your content to the right. So you have control of that. The reality is I'm going to build a website where I do my own sidebars with Elementor. So what I actually want is a full width page. I don't even want a sidebar. So when I click on that, you notice the sidebars went away. So my pages will no longer automatically have sidebars. I can have things I want in those sidebars anyway, as you'll see when we start building with Elementor. So I'm going to leave that actually set at full width. Let's look what else is down here. Some of this has to do now with posts in our blog, number of posts per page. So we're not doing a blog, and notice this is the layout for the blog. We didn't change that one because we don't care right now. If we ever build a blog though, we'll have to look down at these various things to see what we get for our blog. We don't need that right now, so I am going to be through with the General Options tab. Under General Options also is Page Title. Let me show you what Page Title is. The style down here says Default, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it hidden so you can see what goes away. So the title of that page was Sample Page. There was actually the name of the page right below the header. I don't want that. I don't want to see that title because I'm going to build a custom header anyway, and I don't need to have the page title right there. So I'm going to leave the style as hidden. I do that on most of my pages, but if for some reason you wanted this to say below websites in 10 that this was home page, you could do that, and you could control how big you wanted it and all of those kind of things, along with the color and the text color for the title. You could do all of that right here. And that's all I'm going to do with the page title right now. So back to General Options again. Notice each time I'm just using this arrow to back up one page. I don't need the scroll to the top because, again, I'm not doing a blog, but this would be some settings for how I did it, nor do I need pages. I won't be doing that without blogs, and I really don't need any of the rest of these either right now. So again, I'm back to my main menu for customizing my theme. Let's look at typography. Typography is all of the things about the way the letters, numbers, and all of those things look. So it's the fonts we use, it's the size of fonts. And we have some general setting, or a general setting, which most of us will use the Latin subset, the way our letters look. And then we can go to each individual piece of our theme, and we can set some things as defaults. We don't have to do as much in this as you would think because we're going to, again, control a lot of our look through Elementor. But you could set, say, your default family. You can pick whatever font you want, and that font would be the default throughout the website. If you do that, same thing with the font weight. Do you want it thick or thin or normal? I usually just leave these at default because, again, I can change that font as I'm building the page itself. Notice here the font size is set to 14 pixels, what the PX means. How big each line is, 1.8. If you want lines to be closer together, change that spacing. But again, remember, this is just what it will default to if we don't change it as we're building the site. And we'll do that a lot, but we'll have control over it then, so we don't have to do a lot with it. That's the main body and the typography for the main body. Same thing here with headings. We're not going to do much with all these headings because, again, we'll control that as we're building with Elementor. We're going to have a custom logo. We don't need that. I do want to look at top bar. So what is the top bar? The top bar is actually this thing right up here. I want you to just know what it is because in a few minutes we're going to actually take it out of there. But if you, for some reason, need to put some content above your header, that's what the top bar is, then you would control the font and the background and all of those things, what it looked like from this top bar setting. I'm not going to use it at all, so I'm going to be turning it off in a minute, so I don't really need to do that. Menus we're going to create with the custom menu from Elementor. Same thing here with mobile menus. Breadcrumbs we're not going to be using. What they are is just the path to the pages you've come from or that you're on currently and how you got there. So as I said, there's not a lot of this typography stuff that you actually have to set from this customizing menu. That completes part 2 of customizing theme settings. In part 3, we'll take a look at the final parts of the customizing theme settings menu. Until then, I invite you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell to be notified when we upload new videos. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find us at our website at www.websitesin10.com. If you're still looking for hosting, you can click the link in the description for more information on the host I use for all my websites. And if you sign up through my link, I will get a commission at no cost to you, and you'll be supporting my channel and website. You'll also get a good deal. Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.